A real sign of the times when there's a course on how to survive a terrorist attack. My next guest runs a day-long terrorism survival and awareness course in which realistic scenarios are reenacted, including grenade attacks and 9/11 style hijackings. It sounds absolutely terrifying. To tell us about the course and how it works, I'm joined on the line by Simon Leila, Director of Training and Risk at the risk consultancy firm 360 Defence Limited. Simon, good morning. It sounds absolutely terrifying. Tell us what happens to people on the average one-day course in terrorism survival.
Well, it sounds terrifying. We do give, as you mentioned, people a realistic experience of what it would be like to be in a terrorist incident. We do deal with single and multiple suicide bombings, vehicle-based incendiary devices, grenade attacks, as you mentioned, hijacks, kidnap and ransom, chemical and biological, radiological, nuclear weapon problems, and small arms and hostage issues. However, we also predominantly spend most of the day, or at least 50% of the day, on the awareness, anticipation and avoidance. So the course itself has sort of a double angle to it. One is open your eyes, be more aware, spot things in advance, and obviously terrorists do have pre-runs, do reconnaissance, etc., and members of the public can be extra ears and eyes for the authorities and report things before they happen. They can also be more aware should they be close to an incident, so their chances of survival are higher. And then in worst case scenarios, as with the realistic training scenarios that we have, how to survive them should you be unfortunate enough to be involved in one.
Now, this is not paintball with an edge, but equally it's not live ammunition. It's presumably somewhere a little bit in between. That's
right. I mean, we use what we call simulation, which is an ammunition of sorts, but it's not very high-powered. It gives enough reality. I mean, certainly probably the best thing to do, to give an overview, one of the newspapers over in Scotland, the Herald, if I can read a brief paragraph, which gives an idea of what it would be like in a real event, but actually what was on the day in the training. Anyway, I read it to you. It says, I crashed to the ground, face twisted to one side, eyes shut tight, heart pounding, terrified to move and terrified not to. Acrid smoke fills the air and an eerie silence descends. I remember a shout, but the grenade seems to come from nowhere, rolling towards me and exploding in a flash, sending shrapnel flying. When I look up, a bloody mess of body parts ripped apart by the blast lies scattered in front of me. Thankfully, neither the bomb nor the carnage is real, etc., etc., etc.
Now, that to me, when you read that out, I'm thinking, I need counselling.
No, it's no, definitely not. It's very much that's the sort of the glory part, if you want to call it that, the bit that the TV and the media will probably highlight on. But as I mentioned, at least 50% of the day is, okay, let's talk about the behaviour, let's talk about what terrorists do, how do they behave, how do they give themselves away when they're doing pre-runs, how could you spot them? And one of the things that we highlight, for example, was the 7/7 bombings in London, was a pre-run set of photographs from CCTV which showed the suicide bombers a couple of weeks before on a trial run. And, we basically are saying to the people there, if you were there at that time, would that have appeared normal? Would you have overheard some conversation? Would you have thought, actually, that's a bit odd? And particularly on the mainland of the UK, there is that British Reserve thing, which is also happens in Ireland as well, which is, that's probably nothing, I won't worry about it.
But are you not in danger of producing people from this course, people coming out of this course, who will be utterly paranoid and report anybody with a backpack?
No. It's very, very counterbalanced in the delivery. We've been doing this for a number of years. It just happens to be the first time we've put out this type of course to actual members of the public, and we have it very much on our sort of corporate event days, and also for corporates in 1, 3, 5 and 3-week training for media, etc. Is very much balanced. There is a heavy balance there. We are not into the logic of paranoia at all. In a perfect world, we would love all governments to give this type of awareness and safety and survival training free, without charge. As simple as that. It's definitely more of upping your awareness to a reasonable level, but certainly not looking around in a paranoid state and being scared to go out. In fact, one of the opposite, in fact, is we actually say, go about, do your normal life, do whatever you want to do, but just be aware. Walk around or go about your daily business in the same way you may drive a car.